What's going on, Andrew? We're feeling good. Buy walls have been removed. I mean, there's some icebergs going on right now in this region, but besides that, nothing major. We should be able to crack through 7,500 support. 9,500. That's the next target. Daily D, what's going on, buddy? Ernesto, what's up, man? That guy, hey. Argus, Agus. Agar. I'm so sorry. Tilks, what's up, man? Fish, stop, buddy. Sammy, what's going on, man? We're looking good, guys. We're looking good. 2 hour bearish has confirmed to the downside. Let's see. RSI is at the 50, so there's a chance that we might have to retest some upwards resistance. But besides that, I've been using Bookmap for, I guess, the last 12 hours. And it's been pretty accurate. And so far, what I can see is that a lot of the buying pressure at our support has been removed. So more than likely, we actually are going to break down to about 9,500. If we can break 9,500, $9,300 is the next target. Currently in a short right now, up about 29%. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what the $100 account is at now, but we'll get to that in just a couple minutes. We'll let some more people stack in here. Let's see. I do want to go ahead and let's go ahead and do that. I do want to get some. We'll switch these two spots for Bookmap and chat. Krypton, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? Let's see. Yeah, 9,500 is our next support. So what's probably going to happen is we're probably going to come back up to about 98.50. I've been seeing a sell wall flash around that area whenever we get up to it. It doesn't stick there until we get to it, but 98.50 should be the next local top. And then put in a lower high, and I mean, it's pretty much blast off to the downside. And like I said, 9,500 is the next target. Let's go ahead and start so I don't have to do it later. So here's the bearish divergence. Okay. We'll highlight that with purple and a thicker line. Also highlight it on right here. Boom. Okay, and it is confirmed. Okay, so it's not a possible bearish divergence. It is a confirmed bearish divergence. Now, obviously, we always have to watch out for bullish convergence. So, if anything, we do need to find support like right now if you do want to happen to see some more upside. Uh, but we're looking like we're getting squeezed here on MACD. We should expect a pretty big move around May 15th. All right, by that time. So anywhere between about May 12th to about May 18th, we should see a gigantic move. All right, well, not gigantic, but a sizable move, probably 5-10% in one direction. Crippler, what's going on, buddy? What would be a good entry if not in a short? So right now, there's no good entries. Besides, if you can get a entry filled at about 98.50, okay, and then if we do happen to get rejected a little bit sooner and you don't get that filled, more than likely, what you want to take your short around 9,700, okay, and then put your stop at about I would say 98.15 would be a good stop. Is this the big dump? More than likely. I mean, we have a double top on price action on the 2 hour. So that puts everything all the way down to about 93.50 as a target. So I hope so. If we win this trade all the way down to about 93.50, we'll walk away with $823. So we'll see if that works out. I do want us to come up back up to 98.50. I do want to get a DCA short filled. And then we should be able to make about 1,600 off of that drop. Is my mic crackling or something? Let me bring up, why is it doing this? It won't allow windows to come up to the surface when I click on them. Okay, hello? No, mic's doing good. We'll go ahead and play that. So yeah, we're looking good. G Moneybags, what's going on, man? Alexander Schmidt, I'm glad to see you again too, buddy. So we've been scalping like crazy the last couple of days, okay? Let's see, how many people we got so far? I'll see if we'll get up any higher before I do the big reveal on what we're currently at on the $100 portfolio. Many of you guys, because you guys are in the Telegram, but for anybody that just watches the live streams, looks like we are. Let me go down to a 5-minute real quick so I can show you this. Looks like we are getting this particular diagram. Okay, so let's go to the scalping time frame. So when we come back up, about 98.62 would be a diagonal resistance. Right now, we do have the horizontal support. Like I said, a lot of the buy walls around the $9,700 region is gone. So we don't have any support really in that region anymore. I know it's a support on your chart, but an actual price action, volume coming in, there's not a whole lot of buying action going down in that region. Dump. What's the Bookmap thoughts so far, Kite? I absolutely love it. It's a breeze. There is some tendencies that you have to get used to and understand what you're looking at when certain things pop up. But ultimately, it does define a pretty good range. Every now and then, you'll see like a gigantic buy wall or sell wall pop up, and then I'll just do a market sell, market short to follow along with it if it does happen to push price back down. But so far, so good. Nothing really too complicated. I do need to have more practice time with it. That's all. All right, so I want to get a DCA filled at let's see. What am I trying to get it filled right here? 99.35. Okay, so we'll cancel that one, and we're going to go ahead and we are back above the VWAP, which is a good short-term sign. Let's see. The next major buy wall, because there is cash right now, is about $10,000. So I'll probably let this ride a little bit further up. Actually, we'll take a DCA right now as well, just at that diagonal resistance. Oh, there's that sell wall. There's that sell wall. All right. Flashed at 98.70 on GDAX. Yeah, 116 Bitcoin sell wall. There's something up with the audio, dude. The music keeps suddenly cutting in super loud. And I need to restart my PC. Something's going on with... Okay, so we'll just turn off the music if that's the case. Hopefully the mic audio is still good, though. Sorry to vape on you guys. Yeah, we'll see if that person can keep the sell wall in place. So we got our DCA in. Currently, we are down 14%, but we're fine with that. My next DCA would be at about 99.80 if we did ever go back up to it. So hopefully, I would like to get a DCA filled there. If we do go down to 93.50 now, I'll make about $2,000, which would be an absolute blessing. Yeah, it does look like we're getting a lot of selling pressure right now, just on the volume dots. I know you guys can't see it, but sorry, I'm still in scalping mode. I only got about 4 hours of sleep. I was scalping all damn night. Let's see. I'll go ahead and show you guys now. We are at 3,600 on the account at the moment. Obviously, we're down $65 on margin, so technically we're around the 3,800s. If we win this trade, we'll be at about 5K, 6K almost. So that's what I'm hoping for. Still music cutting in. Let me see if any of the default devices change, because that doesn't make sense really. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I guess we'll just close out the music. Yeah, like whenever I click on a window, it doesn't bring it to the forefront, which is like you don't understand how annoying that is. Trying to get around and just view different stuff, and you can't. You just can't. All right, let's see. Let's have a breakdown, baby. Let's break down. Papa needs a big win. So, I mean, if we make this next trade, we would have doubled the account. Well, actually, quadrupled the account almost, because when we last left off on the last live stream, we were at $1,730, and if we do come out on top, we'll be at 6 grand, so almost 3x. Did CryptoFace get out of his trade? I have absolutely no clue. I'm not in Whale Crew or anything. I don't know what goes on in there. It does look like we're trying to get rejected at the halfway point. I'm gonna get some fib retracements out on this. Um, yeah, the 0.618 is at 9,550. So that's gonna be my first target. And just based off of volume alone, hold on. A lot of the buying pressure at 9,500 also got removed. So this actually might just be a free fall. Um, I guess we'll see as it goes live. I mean, the only thing right now that we have is a little bit of buying pressure at around the $9,500 mark and $9,400 mark. But besides that, there's nothing. But we have like a hundreds of Bitcoin sell wall at about 10,000, which is keeping us down, holding that double top. And then as well as that, we have a 500 Bitcoin sell wall at 10,500. So that's a hard top if we ever got to it. I would be shorting the hell out of that. Besides that, I mean, we should have a breakdown here. We just need to get past the VWAP once again, and then we can see another dump come in. On actual price action, though, if we're just looking at this from a regular technical analysis standpoint, as long as we can hold below the 9870 region at the current moment, we're fine. We should see a breakdown to 9550. Come on, baby. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, if we can make it back down to 8 grand, which is like what I'm hoping to be a bottom. If I did happen to try to hold this trade, I could probably make about $1,000 in funding, or at least a couple hundred, and I would make about 7 grand off of the actual trade, which would be absolutely capped at about almost 11 grand, which is the month 3 target for this whole fiasco we got going on. Where's Mrs. G? She would love a free fall. Probably, yeah. Just doesn't feel right without the music. Just doesn't feel right. Where are those highlights coming off of? I think it was on the 30-minute that I drew that. No, it had to been something else. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, why am I doing this with the MACD? What am I hoping to accomplish with drawing these lines? So when you have these massive breakouts to one side or the other, you usually get like this full reset with a gigantic top and a sizable bottom, or a gigantic bottom and a sizable top. And what I do is I take that point and I'll take the second highest peak or the second lowest peak, and I'll draw a diagonal while connecting it to the zero. And then if I don't have a second top on this side yet, all I do is take that top and connect it to the connection point that the bottom is sitting at. And then that will give me a pretty good range to work with in terms of MACD crosses, which is incredibly helpful, just kind of guessing the top and bottom. Understand every big UFC fight event, there is a dump prior. Tomorrow when fight starts, so will the BTC pump. I did not know that was a thing. I don't know if that's just coincidence. I don't know why BTC would dump before fight and then pump after a fight. What kind of giveaways are you planning if this $100 challenge works out? You'll just have to wait and see. You'll just have to wait and see. No, it's gonna be good. Big sell wall coming back in, and they just keep flashing that sell wall at resistance, which I mean, obviously is a good thing for us. UFC BTC conspiracy. Yeah, you know, Dana White just is that his name? Dana White? I don't know. Dana Wright? I don't know. I don't watch UFC. He's probably just dumping his BTC every single time, just taking advantage of fundamentals. Uh, it's like December 17th. It has literally no meaning, but for some reason, there is always some sort of major pivot on December 17th. So, best example of this would be the 6 hour once again. So, this was something that a lot of people were asking about, and I mean, obviously, just asked again. But essentially, what bear traps and bull traps are is the whales will cause a bearish divergence or bullish divergence, and they'll get a whole bunch of people to hop in on it. And yes, it would go slightly in that direction and give people more confidence, which sometimes people end up paid, which obviously averages up or averages down, which is not good. And then the wave, instead of, actually blasting off to one side will go to the other. Because, like I said, you don't invalidate bearish divergences, you don't invalidate bullish divergences. Momentum is momentum. That is why it's called a momentum oscillator. Energy does not stop, it does not hit a brick wall. Okay. And if it does, that brick wall is going to move. All right. Especially with Bitcoin. So, when you take a massive downwards momentum and you stall a support, that momentum that was supposed to go to the downside has to go somewhere so it goes to the upside. The best example of that on the 6 hour is right now. So, essentially, from this point right here, we had one, two, three, four, uh 5, 6. We had 6 bearish divergences and not a single one worked out. Obviously, it did have a little bit of a pullback, but every single time from this point right here, we always ended in bullish convergence. All right, especially in this area right here. That's why we pumped so hard. You can see the support was held on the MACD and then boom, blast off to the upside. That is how major market movers use these indicators to trick people into shorting at the top, shorting at the bottom and longing at the top. So earlier today, when we were scalping, I obviously have Bookmap. I can see that there's major selling action at about 10,020 to 10,060. But essentially, what would happen is, okay, so if we're doing this on a scalping time frame and we break this specific diagonal right here, a bunch of people are going to hop into longs. All right. And then obviously they're expecting a 10.5 target, but they're probably not thinking about a double top. So essentially, the whales convince people to hop into longs, stall the resistance, and then use the bullish divergence to push price down. I know it doesn't make sense if you're just hearing it, but once you start seeing it in action, start looking for that, and you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. Caesar, what's going on, buddy? AK, what's going on, man? Let's see. What do you think about the CME gap around 7,600? I think I absolutely love that. I really don't pay attention to CME gaps all that often. I just pay attention to my own chart and just kind of work it out by what goes on. But obviously, if $7,900 or $7,600 is a CME gap, more than likely we're going to head back down to 7,600. And I mean, if we can make it back down to 7,600, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, I'll make about $9,000. You offer any trading courses? Yeah. So in the description, you can find a link to my page. You can either join the Telegram for $50 a month, which obviously in the Telegram, I give reasons why I'm getting into specific trades. Lately, I have been, scalping like a stupid crackhead. So a lot of the times, stuff happens way too fast for me to really sit down and explain why compared to like a swing trade. But if you are in the Telegram and you ask a question, you have 100 other people that could answer the question for you. If not, I would answer it for you. As well as that, if you do want one-on-one personal teaching, I do offer that for $450 and $500 to the Patreon. That I do think I'm gonna have to keep dropping the sessions down a little bit. So originally it was 8 sessions, but you really don't need 8 sessions to be honest, to unless you're really struggling to understand the information. But I try my hardest to make sure that you get it before we leave that call. So um, 4 sessions, usually lasting about an hour to 2 hours each, depending on what's happening. And then as well as that, you get access to the Telegram for a lifetime. As well as that, we do have a personal Discord for only the one-on-one students. If you join the Telegram, you do not get access to the Discord. The reason being is because we want everybody that's in the Discord to have a certain level of trading experience, at least on paper. Obviously, it's always good to back it up with trading logs, but um, we want to make sure that that particular Discord remains a high value Discord, which is why I don't offer it. I do have a subscription. You spot the hidden plugin for Iceberg. I can kind of just use balls. Uh, uh, is a single bot or single. Sometimes we don't. But typically, pulls out at right about between more than likely creating a high. You need to head below 8,000. Wow. Let's see. That fix it. Um, okay, it's better. Yeah, I just closed Bookmaps. That's why it's better. Ugh. Yeah, I guess Bookmap is trying to use too much of my CPU, and so as well. It might be because I have hardware acceleration turned on Bookmaps, because I do believe I use my graphics card to power Bookmaps, which it's trying to share that data with the live stream. Mitch, hey, how you doing, buddy? Please explain again. Um, what were we talking about? Oh, icebergs. So yeah, so essentially what they'll do is they'll spread their orders out over a general area. That way it's not seen very easily. And then obviously there's kind of like indicators, plugins for Bookmap that can do the work for you, but I've just been doing it manually. I've only been using it for 12 hours, so I'm not an expert on it. Give me about 3 weeks and I'll probably be an expert on it. That's my usual time of learning. Like when I did open interest, it took me about 3 weeks to get good at it. And then obviously, you know, so on and so on. Come on, Bitcoin, dump. 5 minute looks like it's getting rejected at the 50. So that's gonna be good for our short. If not in a short already, where would you enter? You want to enter on a breakout, okay? Well, right now we are still pretty damn close to the top, right? So I mean, obviously I'm scalping here, so I'm trying to get absolutely perfect entries. But I mean, if you took a short right now, obviously not financial advice, I'm just a 20-year-old kid on the internet, um, and you had a stop loss at about, I would say 99.05, you would have a 0.6% stop loss. And like I said, a lot of our buying pressure has been removed in the 97.50 region. So if you did take an entry right about now, you could be looking at potentially about 2.88% profit. So I mean, if we were to work up I think it would be somewhere around a 4 or 5. So let's go ahead and work that out. Yeah, 4.5 risk reward ratio. So depending on what you're risking, if you're risking 2% of your account, you'll make about 10% to your account. Me in particular, I'm risking about 10% of my account, so I'm gonna make an additional 50%, which will be absolutely fantastic. What are the best trading strategies you use? I've been using Market Cipher, and have been 50-50 with their divergences. Uh, Essentially, you can be absolutely a god at indicators, but ultimately you need to be able to find your pattern, your range as fast as possible. And the most simple advice that I could ever give somebody is once you find your range, don't settle for anything except for the tops and bottoms. Okay, so for a good while, our range was about 99 50 to about 75.50, 97.50. Okay. So that was the range. So you take shorts up here, take longs down here, take shorts up here, take longs down here. And obviously on Bookmap, I was able to see that we were going to pump up a little bit higher. So I was able to make about 800 bucks on this particular short. So, I mean, very small price action can give uh, a lot of good profits. How did you get so damn good at trading, bro? Um, Perseverance, that's all. Constantly every single day, just waking up and doing it over and over and over again, despite whether I was winning or losing. Always trying to find something new to learn, and always practicing. Obviously, you can start using one strategy and you might not be good at it, but give it maybe 3 to 6 months, and if you really do perfect that strategy, you could be an absolute market maker with it. One day. But it's all about giving yourself time. The analogy that I like to use is time is essential to becoming good at trading. Okay. No matter what you're doing, always staring at the chart will help in some instances, but obviously at some points it's going to make you go crazy. So the analogy that I like to use is that when you take a whole bunch of pendulum clocks, the clocks that got the little dingly bit at the bottom, um, and you put them on a wall. Okay, when you first put them on the wall, every single one is going to be going at a different speed. But the longer that that clock stays on the wall, eventually they'll all sync up. Okay, because law of vibration. So Essentially, the market is the wall and the traders are the clocks. So essentially what you need to do is spend enough time on the wall to go in sync with the market. That's why I tend to just trade one asset, to actually trade and then kind of just buy, hold, macro, sell the others. Is because when you spread yourself too thin over multiple coins, especially when you're first getting started, obviously I've only been trading for about a year and a half. So, maybe if I've been trading for 5 years, maybe I'll have enough know how to start spreading myself over multiple assets comfortably. But right now, uh, trading one asset is probably the best thing I can do for my portfolio. So, really long answer, but hopefully it was worthwhile. We need a kite copy trading. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Die trying. What's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? G Money Bags. Bro fist. Another thing is making sure that your stop losses are appropriate. That's a huge thing that a lot of people are finding themselves getting into trouble with. So the way I see it is if you've had multiple macro touches, like maybe like the 6 hour or maybe like a 4 hour off of a single diagonal support, diagonal resistance, or horizontal, that is considered a medium macro. So typically, I have a delta of about $100. So let's say the support is at 9,500. Okay, you want your stop to be at 9,400. Now, if it's an ultimate macro, I'm saying like multiple touches off of like the 12 hour, you need about a $200 delta. So let's say 10,500 is our technical top. You want a stop loss at 10,700. Okay. So, and obviously you just adjust your leverage to make sure that you're not going to get, liquidated. And when you do lose, if you do lose, you don't lose too much. You think we could see a dump pretty soon? You think we should buy then, or might see another bull run and break 10.5? I don't think we're going to be breaking 10.5 if we do ever go up to test that. There is a massive Bitcoin sell wall at that price point. Exactly. And like I said, I don't have Bookmap open up anymore. But last time I checked, we had little to no buying pressure at 97.50 anymore. So if we do happen to go back down to that region, we'll probably see a sell wall pop up shortly after, and then we'll probably drop down to about 95.50. Fishy, you are so loud. You understand that, Fish? You are loud. Oh, dude, you just hit your head. What exchange was that? GDAX. Having a staring contest with Fish. Yeah, you're gonna have to excuse me for being all over the place on this live stream tonight. Like I said, didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but we made lots of money. So I mean, sleep or money, I'll choose money. Let's see. Smaller time frame. We're going to test that 50. We did get a double bottom, so more than likely we will see 67 on the RSI. Uh, I die trying. I'm not that type of YouTuber. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that by this time next year we're gonna be at this number and this number. I know the levels that I'm looking at. So, once we break 14K, we're going to try to test 20K. Once we break 20K, we're going to try to test 34K. Once we test 34K, 54K, and then so on and so on. It's all based off of fib retracements. Obviously, once we get past 20K, it's nothing but price discovery. We have nothing to go off of that in that region. So, gone fans and fib retracements are going to be essential in that region. So hopefully, it does work out appropriately once we get to that price point. Hey, sometimes, my biggest trades are when I go to sleep. Every single breakout trade, I have gone to sleep right before we pumped. When we broke, we got our entry on this pump right here. I think we got our entry at about 9,360, and I put my stop loss down at 9,251, or I think it was a little bit higher, but obviously we didn't come back down. And then I went to bed and we woke up. My friend Skylar was calling me and he was like, "Hey man, we're at 9,800." And I was like, "Oh, that's just awesome." And I went back to bed and just had sweet dreams about money. I was like, "I'm gonna be rich when I wake up." uh, JJ, how you doing, man? I'm doing absolutely fine. So, I'll go ahead and flash the account again. So this is what we're currently sitting at. The last live stream we had about $1,700. We are currently up to $3,600. By the end of this trade, okay, I'm gonna try to take profit at 9,500, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens in that region. I'll try to. If you're on the Telegram, that's probably when I'm gonna be posting it. As well, tonight, probably well, actually, I might be going to bed a little bit earlier tonight because I do want to get some sleep. Uh, but uh, what we're gonna be doing now is if you do have access to the Discord, is when I'm doing these scalping sessions where I'm sitting here for multiple hours at a time and just literally doing nothing but price action. I'm gonna be sitting in the Discord, so if you want to join me, that way when I enter a trade, I can just say it out loud rather than go to the Telegram and type it out, which can be incredibly helpful for not only me to save time, but also you guys to get into trades as well with me. Fishy. Let me go take him out real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, Google, set a timer for 6 minutes. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's see. At what point would you flip to a long, if at all? Um, Only if we break like 10,070. You seem to use way too many indicators. Really? I mean, I'm using MACD, RSI, and Bookmap and open interest. I mean, if you're using Market Cipher, you're using 5 indicators already, or at least you should be. All right. So I mean, I don't think I am. Not so much anymore, Stort. So I've been using open interest as my replacement for money flow, and it's been way more accurate because I can actually draw patterns on it. rather than just look for positive and negative slope. This next wave on the 5 minute is going to be a bearish divergence. It's going to be a hidden bearish divergence, unless we can confirm above 10.25. I mean, obviously, I don't think so. 10,025, because we're going to have a higher high on momentum, but a lower high on price action. Are you using open interest indicator on TradingView? No, I'm using it on Trading Light. Will the scalping session be a regular thing, or is it something you're trying out for now? So since this account is going to require me to scalp more often, it's probably going to be a regular thing. I'm not going to say every single night, because obviously I do have to have some time to myself. But um, more than likely, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Are you 100x with 100% of your portfolio? Why are you freaking out? Kite strategy, is it still a good instrument? If you're talking about kite crossing, it is a very good basic indicator. So it's based off of the VWAPs from Market Cipher B. Essentially, the theory behind it is you want to wait for multiple time frames to line up in the same direction. And in that way, you have pretty much a surefire way of going with momentum. So it's a good way to get average entries, but not particularly exact entries, which is what you really want if you want to make the most out of your, your portfolio. But if you're just starting out, it could be a good tool for you to use. You ever think about starting a podcast? My sister has a podcast. If I ever lived with her, I think we would set up like a nice podcast room and do things. As well as that, maybe in the future, me and my roommates we might do one as well. How did you learn everything that you know? Where did you start? And what would you recommend for someone starting out and has no idea? Okay, so I started about a year and a half ago actually trading. I've been in crypto for 5 years. And as well as that, the people that taught me the most would be Crown Crypto. Okay, so Crown Crypto, obviously, he offers a course. I didn't buy his course. I just kind of sat in on his live streams and I would soak up the information. You know, I didn't understand anything, but I would listen to what he's talking about, and if I would go individually look up the things that he was talking about. So I would look up EMAs, fib retracements, all these things. And then a little bit after that, I bought Crypto Bitcoin Chris's, Crypto Revolutions, now known as. I bought his Telegram, which also comes with a series of tutorials on how to trade crypto. And that was a very basic start, but it helped me immensely. So it's about $60 a month for his Telegram. So, hey, 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 fish? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Go lay down. You're not going to throw a temper tantrum. He's mad because I have him on a diet. So, he has plenty of information there. And then Silicone, his courses are something that I have partaken in, and they are very, very effective as well. So those are the three main people that allowed me to get my start in crypto. Besides that, everything I've learned, I've just stumbled upon it, just looking at stuff. Or I just, somebody introduces something new to me. The amount of times that subscribers and people in my Telegram have introduced new concepts to me, which obviously it should be the other way around, has been insane. And I'm very, very appreciative to that. Give me 1 second. Like Bookmaps. Let's see. We got to get back below. Got to get back below 98.55 if I want to be back in profit. Looks like we are seeing sort of a rejection at the 50. At least it's starting to flatten out. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm trying to keep it on the left side here so my big head does not block it. Um, let's see. Let's go to the 3 minute. 3 minute hasn't crossed over yet. 1 minute is starting to get a double top on MACD, which is a good sign. 3K soon? I don't think so. Hey, little puppy man. Your food will be dispensed in literally 25 minutes. God, this dog. I swear. Good bearish sign or bullish sign? Being rejected off of the 50 on the RSI is a early warning sign of a breakout, especially when it's happening on the 2 hour. Now the 2 hour is still above the 50, but obviously and then also the 1 hour is sitting at the 50. 30-minute is coming back up to test the 50. We really want to see the 30-minute get rejected, and then we'll actually see a massive dump follow shortly after that. All right, fish, come here. Fish, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't just stare at me. Come here. All right, let's little fishy man. Fishy man. Little fishy boy. What's up? What's up? Why you angry? Why you angry? Why you so angry today? What's going on? He's out of treats. That's why uh he's mad. All right, go on. Go. Run free. Run free, fish. Do you play Warzone? Nah, I'm a multiplayer guy. I'm really competitive when it comes to FPSs. I'm pretty damn good at them, I will say. Um, that guy can attest to my skills in FPS shooters. What gun is the best for you? Um, so I love quick scoping. So AX50 is one of my favorite guns. Uh, I've been doing this stupid strat lately where I take an assault rifle, I get thermite, the thermite grenade launcher on it, and then I get shrapnel, and I also get 2 thermites on my lethal, and then I get restock. So I just have infinite thermites pretty much. Um, that's one of my favorite classes. I just run the M4 setup with that. And then something that I really like and I just found out about last night is they buffed the SA-87, which is the the light machine gun, and it's absolutely insane now. It's absolutely insane. Been hooked on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I had Wildlands, and the only reason why I bought Wildlands was because I loved walking around in it. Uh, I really thought it was pretty dry. I don't know. But I loved the graphics. I loved driving around, even though the driving physics were absolutely shit. But you do only scalping. Do you recommend leverage trading or is it too dangerous? I do leverage trading on scalping. It's all about getting perfect entries and perfect stop losses and staying consistent with your risk to reward. But at the same time, I don't only do scalping. I recently have gotten back into scalping. Before I started this $100 to $250,000 challenge, um, I was only swing trading because I have a much bigger account. I don't need to scalp to make lots of money. So I rather just have consistency rather than playing ultra low time frames. But when trying to grow a smaller account, yes, if done effectively and smart, scalping is the way to go. But it is very, very dangerous for newer traders because there's a lot of things that go into scalping. And that's why a lot of these programs, such as Bookmap, cost thousands of dollars because they are essential for scalping ultra low timeframes. All right, I'm gonna head to bed. It's almost 2 a.m. in the UK. Good stream as always, bro. I hope to learn more from you and start trading one day. Appreciate the live stream as always. Thank you very much, man. I'm glad to have you. Always good to see a new face. Ugh. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. I know a lot of people might be asking about that. Um, let's see. So it looks like we're still topping out at this particular resistance, and it looks like we actually might start heading back down because we do have. I don't have any really bearish divergence off of the RSI. We do have a. Actually, no. Let me go to a 6 hour. We have that bearish divergence in play. As well as that, we do have a no, no, no. Okay, so this is okay. This is what I'm talking about right now. All right, this is a perfect example. All right, so we have a massive bearish, bullish divergence here and here on Ethereum. Okay, so we have two massive bullish divergences. Okay, so this is going to convince a lot of people that it might be time to long Ethereum. But what you see happening is bearish convergence. So the momentum that is going into this massive bullish divergence is getting folded over back to the downside, and it barely played out. So that momentum is going to be used to force price action down. So the next support that you're going to be looking at is about 193. But if you break this particular diagonal, it's probably going to be game over. So at 193, I would probably be expecting some support, probably a retest back up to about 202. But if you do break 193, your next target is going to be about 170. Okay. And then if you break 170, your next target is going to be about 150. So another thing I wanted to cover on live stream, which we were talking about in last night's Discord. So I know it's a prevalent question. A lot of people ask me, do I use trailing stop losses? When do I put my take profit, my stop loss into profit? Um, Anything like that. So essentially, like let's say we took a short entry like right now. Okay, so my stop loss is probably going to be somewhere around uh, 223. All right, I know it's a crazy stop loss, 5.6%, but obviously that's if I was swing trading this. So essentially, let's say we do happen to go down like this, okay? At this point, I do not move my stop loss $1, okay? Once we get past that 193 resistance, then I can move my stop loss down to about 200, okay? But I have to see that support be broken first, okay? And what's even better is when you see an actual retest of that resistance, I mean, that previous support and confirm it as resistance, and then that can be an official way to move your stop loss down. And then once we get past this support and confirm it as resistance, then I can move my stop loss down to 175. And then that's how I do my stop losses as the trade is moving. Because let's say like right here, all right, let's say you took a breakout trade at 155 and you know you just move your stop loss as price goes up. The second it turns back around, you lose that entry. And yes, it did come back down to the relatively same entry, but I would hold the trade a lot longer. I would keep my stop loss down here, And as we move up and then come back down and go ahead, move it up to here. As we come up and blast off past that, move it up to here, so on and so on. Incredibly in bull markets, this works very well because you just kind of take it level by level, and just allow your stop loss to do the work for you. That way, you're pretty much making sure that you get the maximum amount of profit, on a long term uptrend or a long term downtrend. So we'll go ahead and mark out some of these levels so that we can have it for the next live stream. So when looking for horizontal supports and resistances, I know we covered this the other day, but make sure you're looking for multiple points of tests. So right here, you can see that we tested it right here, right here, and right here. Okay. So we have 4 tests of that horizontal resistance. That's how I make sure that when I do draw these, I put them in the correct place. And as well as that, using Hakanishi candles with wicks turned off has helped me out extremely. Ridiculous amounts. So I do recommend that as well. Let's go ahead and get a ray tool here real quick. Pop it right here and pop it right here. Boom. So that's our medium macro diagonal. And then this is going to be, so we're getting squeezed here. We're getting squeezed. Getting a double top on the RSI, and we'll go ahead and move that over a little bit so you guys can see it. Double top right here. Hey, Kite, why aren't you using MC? Um, Keeping it simple, and also at the same time showing people that you don't need fancy indicators to make lots of money. Because obviously at the end of the day, we all want to make lots of money. I mean, I'm just being upfront with it. Absolutely in no way, shape, or form am I saying that uh, Market Cipher was a bad investment. Absolutely not. I have met so many good people from Market Cipher's community as well. It's benefited my channel immensely, so I owe a lot of my success to Market Cipher and CryptoFace. As well as that, CryptoFace has been extremely uh, grateful when I have put out videos. He has, I'm going to be upfront with this. He has sent me money for the videos I have put out. In no way, shape, or form has he asked me to put out videos or use Market Cipher and paid me ahead of time. I have always done it just because, and he has always given me money just because. So I am extremely grateful to CryptoFace for that. Um, you know, so I just don't use it anymore just because I kind of just want to break away from it. And what time frame do you use to make your strategy? It's all dependent on what you're gonna do. So, like I said, if you have a smaller account, if you have the time and the knowledge, smaller time frames are definitely the way to go because you can do a lot of good price action in a small amount of time and make lots of money. But if you do have a larger account, I would say above 10K, I would be focusing on the 2 hour and above. Anything below that is not worth your time. If shorting ETH, where would you put your stop? Well, I mean, let's go down to a 1 hour. So it looks like we do have a good horizontal here. So ultimately, a really good stop loss is going to be at about 227. A scalping time frame stop loss would be at about 218. How has taking off the wicks of HA candles helped you? Well, it just helps you kind of clear up the picture. So if you have wicks on, it's not difficult to see what's going on, but definitely turning off the wicks just kind of clears up the support and resistance. And HA candles, they are an average candle body open and average candle body close. So when you're looking at support and resistance on HA candles, you're looking at the average support and resistance. So yes, you can go a little bit above and you can go a little bit below, but you're looking at the you're looking at the average, which, like I said in the past, when you're looking at support and resistance, don't look at it as a single point in time. Look at it as a general area. So, you know, when you're looking at like a macro resistance like this, technically the way that you should be looking at the resistance is like this. So this entire area is resistance, not just this single line. So that's how I always determine my stop losses and everything like that. So that's why I use HA candles with wicks off. Hopefully that answered it correctly. I don't know if that was a good answer. What about BTC, brother? Dude, we're topping out. We're topping out. I'm confident that we'll hold at least below 9,900. And if we can make it back down to 9,500, I'll make 3 grand. So pretty happy. All right, hopefully with Bookmap turned off, I can turn back on the music because sitting here in silence, even though I'm, you know, clouding up the silence with the sound of my voice, I just don't like. Okay, so once the stream's over, I have to restart my PC because there is something going on with this. Let me open up my start menu. It's not letting me open up. Okay, let me try to let me try to boom. Still not working. It's still not working. Can you check XRP, please? Absolutely. All right, so XRP has some pretty damn good horizontal resistance right here, about 22.2 cents. Okay. It does look like it's trying to form an ascending triangle, but more than likely would turn into an ascending wedge. So let's go ahead and zoom out real quick. Let's go to a 2 hour. All right, so actually let's go to a 6 hour. So this is the strongest horizontal on XRP right now, like relatively in the shorter time frames, because we have one, two, three, four, five tests. Okay, so if we do drop from here, I would expect us to fall to about 20.1 cents. Um, I'm on USDT, so USDT has not broken above 9,900 yet. But I mean, it's at 98.98. So we'll see. And then as well as that, the next level you would be looking at is about 18 cents, 18.2 cents right here. And then falling shortly below that. Broke it. So I'm going to take a DCA at 99.33. 99,000. So hopefully we can get back up to 99.33. On the 6 hour, though, it does look like it wants to confirm some bullish divergence and closes in about 4.5 hours. Do you think it's best to set your stop loss on BTC above 10,500 or more like 10,100 just over the last high? 10,100. Okay. 10,500 is going to be a definite top. Having your stop loss up that high does nothing for you, especially when you're leverage trading. Karma hit me. I'm invincible. Come on. This is being stupid. You tell me I have to start Spotify through my stupid task manager? No! What is not allowing me to use this? That's my question. Hmm. I'm being hacked. The next resistance is at 9,950. Okay, in that relative area. 'Cause look, this is how your chart needs to be separated right here. All right, so we have the horizontal resistance right here, bottom support right here, and top support right here. Okay, so 3 different levels. And then we obviously have the diagonal here as well. We might actually be going up to test this particular diagonal as well as that horizontal, which is probably what's likely happening here. So essentially, you want to be looking at these levels in particular. Do you think we'll dump post halvening? More than likely. More than likely. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of profit taking, reaccumulation. That's what we're probably gonna see. I mean, it's happened every single time. There's no reason to think differently. You just gotta think about it logically. If you want to make more money and you have the ability to move the market, you want to trap people in longs and then short the price and then make lots of money that way, add to your liquidity, buy back, stall a support, fold it up to the macro, let let Bitcoin do the work for you. Think like a whale, trade like a bot. We'll have to bring back that old saying. Oh, yeah, I could do that. I'm just really pissed about Windows toolbar not working. RSI is about to hit a top on the 5 minute. We just need all we need is another lower high. That's all. Because so this was a double top that pushed us past this horizontal support. Now, if we can get another lower high, specifically below this resistance, that will confirm a double top, head and shoulders, and then we should really start seeing that target come into play. And like I said, either way this works out, the next move is going to be a pretty damn good bearish divergence. I mean, just look at the differentiation on price action versus market momentum. Any altcoin you're eyeing, you guys know me. I love Monero. All right. Obviously, there's some controversy around Monero, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more controversy. But ultimately, Monero is essentially showing the same signs or like has the same origin as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin obviously got its start on the dark web. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "No, Bitcoin, it's not used for that and that." Yeah, be honest with yourself, right? Bitcoin would not be where it's at right now if it was not for the dark web. All right, criminals are what are making you rich. All right, so Monero highly used on the dark web, as well as that it's got a good team around it. The technicals are looking good. I truly think Monero has a lot in its future. I got it. Yeah, I can link my chart to you. Where should I place my stop loss knowing that I short uh I mean, at this point, you should put your stop loss at 10,050, but you basically shorted a support. So, you gotta make sure you don't do that in the future, buddy. Not really, Nokia. I really don't use Market Cipher all that much anymore. Not for any particular reason. It's not like, I hate Market Cipher. I'm just going back to basics, just showing people that market, just market momentum oscillators and RSI is all you really need, to be honest. All right, give me 1 second. I want to go ahead and pour some food into his bowl so he can just kind of calm down. I'll be right back. So which pair do you recommend to trade on BTC or others? Um, uh, I don't know. I don't really know what you mean there. I mean, I either do USDT or just USD.
Hollering, I'm dazed in amazement, running through these phases, writing down books, but they always skipping pages. Is this nigga mainstream, or is he a racist? He talks about about the blacks more than the triple K's that I'm driving by niggas, they standing still. My playlist has been a mixture from Beatles to Lauryn Hill. My trunk is full of these gimmicky rappers who popping pills, distorting what's really real. Realize that their reality's something you shouldn't feel. So ain't nothing sweet but this Kool-Aid. Come back to reality, we ain't playing RuneScape. You might think it's all fun and games until you run up on a nigga, get your wig peeled off like a toupee.
Wanted to say which crypto to use BTC to. I mean, I use them all, but usually I just use BTC to whatever I'm trying to trade into. Unless there's a direct pair between the two that I'm trying to trade. It's raining super hard outside right now. Let me try Googling this.
I just wanna feel again, something, anything. I just wanna feel again, someone, yeah, hey, something to take me back, yeah. Someone leave a scratch, I'm picking at the sky. I just wanna laugh, who got a joke to crack, falling down too fast. I just wanna cry sometimes. Someone made me sad, come with an attack. Someone made me glad, take the pressure on my back, picking up the slack. I just wanna feel like I actually live in real life, going through the motions, everybody still hype. Don't think that they get it, always copacetic. Don't know where I'm headed, but I just wanna feel again, something, anything. I just wanna feel again.
Do you like Kraken? Never used Kraken a day in my life. Yes. So this is actually pretty good because I don't have my settings on this chart. But I usually have signal smoothing at 50. And then I have those are always default right here. And then I typically change the histogram to an area. That's how I usually like to have my MACD.
This ain't double dutch, we don't keep in touch. Always in a rush, I done did too much. I just cannot feel what I used to feel. I just cannot deal how I used to deal.
The start process. So if I go to my task manager, what am I looking for here? Is it called start? Start menu experience?
I'm so broken that I don't notice. Up down wrapped in all these emotions. Now I don't feel it all. Up down.
Not working. Oh. Let me try ending process tree. That's annoying. It's margarita. That's the juice flavor. Refresh the chart, Madanu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sorry if I am. So I just updated my chart and I just saved the chart, so it should update on yours as well. What kind of risk management are you using with your portfolio? So when I first open a trade, I'm using about 10% of my portfolio with about 5% risk. So it's much higher than you should be using, than I definitely recommend you using. But a lot of the times, there's something that I take advantage of. So as long as I'm still within a pattern, all right, so what I'll do is I'll find the average resistance, okay? And I'll open up my first, short or long based on support or resistance around that region, okay? Because there's a good chance that we do fall down or pump in that region. so I don't want to miss out on a good entry. But there's always a maximum resistance or support as well. So I would say that our average support is at about 9,800, okay? And then our average resistance is somewhere around 9,900. The maximum resistance before 10,050 is at 9,950. So if I open up a position here with about 10% on margin and I'm risking about 5% of my portfolio, my stop would be at about 8 point, up here. Obviously, at this point in time, since we do have a definitive diagonal, I would want it to be up here. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'll take my first short at this particular resistance, and then I'll take a DCA with the same amount of margin at 10,000, 9,950. So essentially, I am increasing my margin by double the amount, but I'm not risking all that much more. See what I'm doing here? So the first margin is about 1% away. The second margin is about 0.7% away. So yes, I lose a little bit more, but my potential profit skyrockets. So I've been taking advantage of that particular strategy over the past couple of days when I've been scalping, and it's been extremely successful. There has been a couple times where I do get stopped out and I do happen to lose just a little bit more, but through my consistency of continuously doing it over and over and over again, and making sure that I'm paying attention to my ranges, and not settling anything for more than the tops and bottoms, I have been doing extremely well on the account. So essentially, I opened up this trade, and if we do happen to break down to about 9,500, I'm going to double the account from 3,000 to 7,000. Gabriel, hey, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? Michael, what time frames do you use for scalping? 1, 3, 5, and 15. Oh, actually, I usually about use 1, 3, 5, 10. That's the scalping time frames I use. One minute just cross to the downside with a bearish divergence. So what this is called a bearishly diverging MACD. Okay. So when you see, so this is a bearish divergence. Okay. This is a bearishly diverging RSI. Essentially, RSI and price action are going in the opposite direction at the same time. So essentially, it's telling you that you're going to lose momentum very, very soon. Are you doing that trade method with cross margin? No, I'm doing it with isolated. Gotta fade away. I be in and out of state. I don't need a break. Yeah, they show me love, but I know it's fake. You can keep that fake, no motherfucker. You don't see me round, you just see the sound. Try to help them out, but they drag me down. Yeah, we've been going for quite a while. We're going for an hour and 24 minutes. We're up to 71 viewers. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. So now we just need the 3 minute to confirm the bearish divergence, and we should see a good drop coming in. Yeah, I would probably expect us to break back down. Yeah, I'll check BCH. Okay, so BCH is hitting a pretty good horizontal resistance. Fish, stop, buddy. Why do you want so much attention right now? Stop, buddy. So let's see. This region right here is a pretty sizable area. So about your top would be, I would say if we can get up to $284, we're most likely going to go up to test this region right here. So about 315 to about 300. So that's the next major resistance after this one. We do have a diagonal support in this region. So let's see, if we were to get a target off of this, we would be looking at about, we would be looking at it for it to come back down to about, I would say 167 is probably a good chance. And do you take profit at 9,500 or wait if it breaks and let go? Well, when I'm using, when I do these DCA trades, I'm not trying to get the most amount of profit, because obviously if I was to let this trade go all the way down to 8 grand, you know, obviously it's nice to think about, I would make $15,000. And if it went down to 7,600 to fill the gap, the CME gap, I would make 20 grand to the $100 portfolio. So obviously it's nice to think about that, but I know that there is a support at 9,500. So I'm scalping. So I just want to take it down to the next support after a breakout, get my cash out, and then wait for a retest of resistance, of previous support to confirm as resistance, and then get another re-entry there and continuously go down. So, I mean, obviously, if I held it for a long time, I could make 20 grand. But who's to say that by the time I get to 7,600, I'm not already at 20 grand? And, you know, it's exponential growth. So 10% of my account right now is $360. So if I'm risking 5%, which is about $180, and I make a 10 risk reward ratio, I make $1,800. But if I'm at 20 grand and I'm risking 10% of my portfolio and risking 5% of it, that's $1,000. So if I make a 10 risk reward ratio trade, I make 10 grand instead of 1,800. So it's exponential growth, and that's what you want. You want to build your portfolio up so you can risk less percentage but make more dollars. All right, that's what we're doing here. That's the ultimate goal of it. So, I mean, obviously, once I get to 20 grand, I'm not going to be risking 5% of my account every single trade. I'm probably going to be doing about 3%. So, as the account grows, I lower my risk because, you know, obviously, once we get up to 250K, and if we keep pushing past that, because, I mean, at this rate, I swear I could be done with this 250K challenge in 1 month. I could literally go from $100 in the account to 250K in 1 month. So, as long as we keep our head level, making sure that we make smart decisions and take advantage of price action, we could make a substantial amount of money in 6 months. I'm not going to say it, but it could be multi-millions of dollars in 6 months rather than 250K, depending on what happens. And fish. Hey. No. He's throwing a tantrum. What book do you recommend to read to grow in knowledge? What's the book called? Let me go to my Audible real quick. So this book, you might not like it in the beginning because there's a lot of lead up to it. But essentially what this book teaches you is that trading is a losing game. You are always going to lose. You're probably going to lose more than you win. But the quicker that you recognize that and you understand that that is an absolute, okay, you then have an advantage. Now you need to start looking for strategies that allow you to lose more than you win, but at the same time allow you to be profitable. And that's what my entire channel is based around. It's based around this simple strategy called risk to reward trading, essentially saying that when you win big, but when you lose small. That's what I'm trying to preach to you guys, that as long as you stay consistent in what you're risking and not go based off of emotions, that will allow you to make substantially more over a long period of time. Now, obviously, you're not going to go from $100 to $1 million in a month, but it will allow you to be profitable long term. So you started with $100 and you want to go to 250K. Yes. I've already 37x the account. in 6 days. Well, 7 days now. That does look like a title that I would put.
Gotta be pressed, you gotta be feeling the rag. Becoming obsessed with success. I look at you and now I know that I'm blessed. The game is a test. Sometimes more is less and you more or less too stressed. You got power now with no common ground with anyone around you. That's that. I can tell you fame ain't what it seems. Yeah, I can tell you money ain't a thing. Yeah, I can tell you happiness and choice. I can tell you the importance of.
Okay, let me go. I have 10 credits available on my Audible right now. I should get some books. Library. So a couple books that I would recommend that helped me with trading and in just life. Trading in the Zone. That's particularly directly relating to confidence in trading. Stillness is Key. That's a very important one. By Ryan Holiday. And then The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Pretty funny title. So essentially the last two books that I listed is just understanding that when you get into a trade, it's not up to you whether you win or lose. All your job is getting the absolute best possible entry, best possible stop loss, and letting it work itself out. No matter how long it takes, just simply letting it do what it's got to do. That's all. Once you understand that you're not in control and you relinquish that and you just focus on the things that you can control, you'll have a much better time. Instead of stressing out about, am I gonna lose the trade? How about you focus on what you're gonna do if you do lose the trade? What's gonna be your next possible entry? And be smart about it. Don't just FOMO into another trade just because you lost your trade. Think really smart about what your next move is gonna be so that you can make your money back effectively. Even if you don't make it all back in one shot, it might be 2 or 3 trades before you make your money back. But make sure that you do not revenge trade. Revenge trading is when you lose more than you should have, so that then you use more than you probably should on the next trade because you want to make that money back as quick as possible. That's revenge trading. And more than likely, you're probably going to lose 2 in a row, and then boom, you're down 50% on your account in 2 trades. Be smart. Matanu, I am sorry about that. Not necessarily all the green zones long areas. I'm just highlighting. So if we're below it, it's a resistance. If we're above it, it's a support. So you would buy down here, sell up here. Yeah, I got you.
Bad bitches, accolades, got will, son, no castaway. I'm twice as good, get half the praise. Throw a sniper up and I blast away. You ain't getting through me. Nah, to how I've been here 10 hours. My chicks sour, rising and falling together, though like we the Twin Towers. Nothing's taken, I'm frustrated. If I could only get just to blaze it, ain't no doubt that I'd muster greatness. No chip off of that old block. All eyes on me, but I'm no pack. Fully loaded off those shots at base and knock you like cold cocks. I'm number 1. Big Mac in my
Hold on, let me load up Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck real quick. There's a particular quote from the book.
There's a name for a person who finds no emotion or meaning in anything. A psychopath. Why would you want to emulate a psychopath? I have no fucking clue. So what does not giving a fuck mean? Let's look at 3 subtleties that should help clarify the matter. Subtlety number 1.
I'll just
not
play
giving
this
a fuck
small
does
little
not
chapter.
mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different.
That's
who is shaken by nothing and caves into no one.
That quote right there.
There's a name for a person who finds no emotion or meaning in anything. A psychopath. Why would you want to emulate a psychopath? I have no fucking clue. So what does not giving a fuck mean? Let's look at 3 subtleties that should help clarify the matter. Subtlety number 1. Not giving a fuck does not mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different. Let's be clear. There's absolutely nothing admirable or confident about indifference. People who are indifferent are lame and scared. They're couch potatoes and internet trolls. In fact, indifferent people often attempt to be indifferent because in reality, they give way too many fucks. They give a fuck about what everyone thinks of their hair, so they never bother washing or combing it. They give a fuck about what everyone thinks of their ideas, so they hide behind sarcasm and self-righteous snark. They're afraid to let anyone get close to them, so they imagine themselves as some special, unique snowflake who has problems that nobody else would ever understand. Indifferent people are afraid of the world and the repercussions of their own choices. That's why they don't make any meaningful choices. They hide in a gray, emotionless pit of their own making, self-absorbed and self-pitying, perpetually distracting themselves from this unfortunate thing demanding their time and energy called life. Because here's a sneaky truth about life. There's no such thing as not giving a fuck. You must give a fuck about something. It's part of our biology to always care about something and therefore to always give a fuck. The question then is, what do we give a fuck about? What are we choosing to give a fuck about? And how can we not give a fuck about what ultimately does not matter? My mother was recently screwed out of a large chunk of money by a close friend of hers. Had I been indifferent, I would have shrugged my shoulders, sipped my mocha, and downloaded another season of The Wire. Sorry, Mom. But instead, I was indignant. I was pissed off. I said, "No, screw that, Mom. We're going to lawyer the fuck up and go after this asshole. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. I will ruin this guy's life if I have to." This illustrates the first subtlety of not giving a fuck. When we say, "Damn, watch out, Mark Manson just don't give a fuck," we don't mean that Mark Manson doesn't care about anything. On the contrary, we mean that Mark Manson doesn't care about adversity in the face of his goals. He doesn't care about pissing some people off to do what he feels is right or important or noble. We mean that Mark Manson is the type of guy who would write about himself in third person just because he thought it was the right thing to do. He just doesn't give a fuck. This is what is so admirable. No, not me, dumbass. The overcoming adversity stuff. The willingness to be different, an outcast, a pariah, all for the sake of one's own values. The willingness to stare failure in the face and shove your middle finger back at it. The people who don't give a fuck about adversity or failure or embarrassing themselves or shitting the bed a few times. The people who just laugh and then do what they believe in anyway. Because they know it's right. They know it's more important than they are, more important than their own feelings and their own pride and their own ego. They say fuck it, not to everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life. They reserve their fucks for what truly matters: friends, family, purpose, burritos, and an occasional lawsuit or two. And because of that, because they reserve their fucks for only the big things that matter, people give a fuck about them in return. Because here's another sneaky little truth about life. You can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. You just can't. Because there's no such thing as a lack of adversity. It doesn't exist. The old saying goes that no matter where you go, there you are. Well, the same is true for adversity and failure. No matter where you go, there's a 500-pound load of shit waiting for you. And that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to get away from the shit. The point is to find the shit you enjoy dealing with. Subtlety number 2. To not give a fuck about adversity, you must first give a fuck about something more important than adversity. Imagine you're at a grocery store and you watch an elderly lady scream at the cashier, berating him for not accepting her 30-cent coupon. Why does this lady give a fuck? It's just 30 cents. I'll tell you why. That lady probably doesn't have anything better to do with her days than to sit at home cutting out coupons. She's old and lonely. Her kids are dickheads and never visit. She hasn't had sex in over 30 years. She can't fart without extreme lower back pain. Her pension is on its last legs, and she's probably going to die in a diaper thinking she's in Candyland. So she snips coupons. That's all she's got. It's her and her damn coupons. It's all she can give a fuck about because there is nothing else to give a fuck about. And so when that pimply-faced 17-year-old cashier refuses to accept one of them, when he defends his cash register's purity the way knights used to defend maidens' virginity, you can bet Granny is going to erupt. 80 years of fucks will rain down all at once like a fiery hailstorm of "back in my day" and "people used to show more respect" stories. The problem with people who hand out fucks like ice cream at a goddamn summer camp is that they don't have anything more fuck-worthy to dedicate their fucks to. If you find yourself consistently giving too many fucks about trivial shit that bothers you, your ex-boyfriend's new Facebook picture, how quickly the batteries die in the TV remote, missing out on yet another 2-for-1 sale on hand sanitizer, chances are you don't have much going on in your life to give a legitimate fuck about. And that's your real problem. Not the hand sanitizer, not the TV remote. I once heard an artist say that when a person has no problems, the mind automatically finds a new way to invent some. I think what most people, especially educated, pampered, middle-class white people, consider life problems are really just side effects of not having anything more important to worry about. It then follows that finding something important and meaningful in your life is perhaps the most productive use of your time and energy. Because if you don't find that meaningful something, your fucks will be given to meaningless and frivolous causes. Subtlety number 3. Whether you realize it or not, you are always choosing what to give a fuck about. People aren't just born not giving a fuck. In fact, we're born giving way too many fucks. Ever watch a kid cry his eyes out because his hat is the wrong shade of blue? Exactly. Fuck that kid. When we're young, everything is new and exciting. Everything seems to matter so much. Therefore, we give tons of fucks. We give a fuck about everything and everyone, about what people are saying about us, about whether that cute boy/girl called us back or not, about whether our socks match or not, or what color our birthday balloon is. As we get older, with the benefit of experience and having seen so much time slip by, we begin to notice that most of these sorts of things have little lasting impact on our lives. Those people whose opinions we cared about so much before are no longer present in our lives. Rejections that were painful in the moment have actually worked out for the best. We realize how little attention people pay to the superficial details about us, and we choose not to obsess so much over them. Essentially, we become more selective about the fucks we're willing to give. This is something called maturity. It's nice. You should try it sometime. Maturity is what happens when one learns to only give a fuck about what's truly fuckworthy. As Bunk Moreland said to his partner Detective McNulty in The Wire, which, fuck you, I still downloaded, that's what you get for giving a fuck when it wasn't your turn to give a fuck. Then, as we grow older and enter middle age, something else begins to change. Our energy level drops, our identity solidifies, we know who we are, and we accept ourselves, including some of the parts we aren't thrilled about. And in a strange way, this is liberating. We no longer need to give a fuck about everything.
Fearless.
Life is just what it is. We accept it, warts and all. We realize that we're never going to cure cancer or go to the moon or feel Jennifer Aniston's tits, and that's okay. Life goes on. We now reserve our ever-dwindling fucks for the most truly fuckworthy parts of our lives, our families, our best friends, our golf swing. And, to our astonishment, this is enough. This simplification actually makes us really fucking happy on a consistent basis. And we start to think, maybe that crazy alcoholic Bukowski was onto something. Don't try. So Mark, what the fuck is the point of this book anyway? This book will help you think a little bit more clearly about what you're choosing to find important in life and what you're choosing to find unimportant. I believe that today we're facing a psychological epidemic, one in which people no longer realize it's okay for things to suck sometimes. I know that sounds intellectually lazy on the surface, but I promise you, it's a life and death sort of issue. Because when we believe that it's not okay for things to suck sometimes, then we unconsciously start blaming ourselves. We start to feel as though something is inherently wrong with us, which drives us to all sorts of overcompensation, like buying 40 pairs of shoes, or downing Xanax with a vodka chaser on a Tuesday night, or shooting up a school bus full of kids. This belief that it's not okay to be inadequate sometimes is the source of the growing feedback loop from hell that is coming to dominate our culture. The idea of not giving a fuck is a simple way of reorienting our expectations for life and choosing what is important and what is not. Developing this ability leads to something I like to think of as a kind of practical enlightenment. No, not that airy-fairy, eternal bliss, end-of-all-suffering bullshitty kind of enlightenment. On the contrary, I see practical enlightenment as becoming comfortable with the idea that some suffering is always inevitable, that no matter what you do, life is comprised of failures, loss, regrets, and even death. Because once you become comfortable with all the shit that life throws at you, and it will throw a lot of shit, trust me, you become invincible in a sort of low-level spiritual way. After all, the only way to overcome pain is to first learn how to bear it. This book doesn't give a fuck about alleviating your problems or your pain, and that is precisely why you will know it's being honest. This book is not some guide to greatness. It couldn't be, because greatness is merely an illusion in our minds, a made-up destination that we obligate ourselves to pursue, our own psychological Atlantis. Instead, this book will turn your pain into a tool, your trauma into power, and your problems into slightly better problems. That is real progress. Think of it as a guide to suffering and how to do it better, more meaningfully, with more compassion and more humility. It's a book about moving lightly despite your heavy burdens, resting easier with your greatest fears, laughing at your tears as you cry them. This book will not teach you how to gain or achieve, but rather how to lose and let go. It will teach you to take inventory of your life and scrub out all but the most important items. It will teach you to close your eyes and trust that you can fall backwards and still be okay. It will teach you to give fewer fucks. It will teach you to not try. Chapter 2. Happiness is a...
Okay, that was just the first chapter. Hopefully that was a good selling advertisement for that book, because I have read that book. Well, not read it, but listened to it probably about 6 times. I bought it when I just got out of high school. I just moved out of I didn't move out of my parents' house. I started renting my parents' house. So, I just wanted to find something that could teach me how to be an adult. And I mean, being an adult is not learning how to do your taxes. It's not learning how to, you know, keep your house clean. It's just learning how to not give a fuck. That's what it taught me. And then stillness is key. Is much more tame. So if you guys do have a problem with the uh, the language that's in the book, obviously you shouldn't. You know, it's just words. Obviously, it's not in hatred. So you know, the F word does not mean anything to me like that. But you know, my mom, she if she's listening to the live stream and she just heard that many F words, she probably just clicked off. So you know, stillness is key. It's a much more tame version of that. It's essentially the same thing. It's a book all about stoicism. You know, not just being brooding and quiet and never crying, but rather just learning how to be in the moment. You know, the book has a really good point on how, like, in our daily life nowadays, we never have a moment where it's just us and our thoughts. If we're in the car, we're playing music. If we're, some people when they go to bed, they play music. You know, there's so many times where, you know, even though you don't really think about it, you're never alone with your own thoughts. People try to run away from that. And that is something that if you can learn how to be with your own thoughts, you can be still. And stillness is key. That's the whole point of the book. So the book that I just played on live stream, that's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And then the one that I just mentioned right now, that is Stillness is Key. I want to buy a 3D printed house. Never settles, you're overcompensated. Did you just not listen to chapter 1? That's pretty funny. Mrs. G, hello. You'll be glad to know that I am bearish at the moment, and I'm looking for a drop to 8,000 to 7,600 over the next week or two. Can we get a little update on the charts, please? Man, your name's cool, but you're not acting cool. Listen, man, I understand you're kind of antsy because you got a little bit of a crappy entry, but you have to understand, we're hitting resistance. It's going to take some time for us to turn around. Nothing's changed from the last time we talked about the resistances and supports. Absolutely nothing. Like I said, you just got to chill out, let price action do what it's got to do. Understand the supports and resistances, and just at the end of the day, understand that it's not up to you if we pump or dump. Obviously, if you have billions of dollars, it is up to you, but, Fishy, you're kind of just taking up a lot of space here. Not going to lie. And you're going to have to get down. You're just getting hair all over my desk. Fishy. Oh, you're tangled. You're tangled. You're tangled in the wires. Okay. Okay. You go down. Go down. No, there's hair all over me. God dang it. After the stream, I'll probably get the de-shedder and comb them a little bit. Because it's summertime, so he's starting to shed. Let's see. So I recently just started listening to one of my old favorite bands called Mayday. And I forgot how good their music was. Well, at least what I think is good. This was one of my favorite songs back when I used to listen to them.
Nobody move, nobody get hurt. Too bad I ain't taking advice tonight. You know if you hit when it burns.
Yeah, those are called quants. Quants run the market. They use high-end algorithms. These algorithms are so high-end, the algorithms are programmed to trick other algorithms into buying or selling. I don't have an affiliate link for Audible, but if you haven't signed up for the Bybit affiliate link, I would very much appreciate that. Obviously, if I make a whole bunch of money off of this $100 challenge, most of it, not most of it, but some of it will come back to you guys because you guys are here supporting me, you know, showing up to the live streams. But if you guys do want to support giveaways in the future past that point, the best way to do so is use the Bybit affiliate link. That way, passive income is generated that I can use for giveaways in the future. So maybe like every Friday, we might give away a ledger, or maybe we just might give away $100, you know, whatever it might be. I heard you talking about a documentary on quants, one of your live streams. What's a good one to watch? I forgot which. Let me try to find that exact video because it was a very good documentary. I just watched it while I was going to sleep one night. It was very informative. Quants. I think it was by Vice. No. It's so if you look up quants on YouTube, it's by VPro Documentary. It was made 10 years ago, and it says Quants: The Alchemists of Wall Street. That's the documentary that I watched. It was very, very good. So I do, you know, if you just got some time on your hands and you want to watch a cool, interesting video about trading, Quants is a good one. Grand Optimist. Hey, guy, remember, win 2 for 2,500 Bitcoin. I don't know. Ask Mrs. G. She's the bear queen. I do not have an affiliate link for Bookmap. I didn't even know they had an affiliate link for Bookmap. But I don't know. I get one set up because I mean that's $100 a month if you buy the pro version. When do you do your live streams? So as of right now, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. EST. So about an hour after market close. Kite, the one-on-one is one-time payment for lifetime access. So yeah, so if you do the one-on-ones, as of right now, you know, I'm going to say you get 4 sessions. All right, so 4 sessions. First one, I'm going to throw everything at you. Second session, we're going to, you know, cover some specific topics that you feel like you need. Third session is probably going to be reviewing some of the homework that I give you. And then the fourth session is going to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So pretty much you'll probably have the first and second session within the same week or two. We'll probably wait a week or two after those to have the third session, give you some time to do your homework, make your trading plan, give me some trading logs. And then we'll probably wait, you know, another week or two for the fourth session where I can review the information, make sure that everything is running smoothly. I can make sure that you're focusing on your entries, your stop losses are good, everything like that. So you get 4 sessions. Obviously, if you need a 15-minute, you know, call and I'm free, obviously you can always do that. And then you get lifetime access to the Telegram. So I mean, if you're buying the Telegram and you stay in the Telegram for a year, which that's not my intention. I don't want to keep you in the Telegram group for as long as humanly possible. What I'm trying to do with the Telegram group is give you examples of what good trades look like that you can there learn what good trades look like so you can emulate them when you leave the Telegram group. But if you stay in the Telegram group for a year, you're paying $600. So if you buy the one-on-ones, not only do you get personal access to me, you also get lifetime membership to the Telegram, as well as that you get access to the Discord, which I just screwed up everything on the chart. The Discord has a lot of useful information, but you have to be in the one-on-ones in order to have access to that. It was a collective decision between me and Seth to maintain the value of the Discord server and make sure that the people that are coming into it have a baseline level of what needs to be done with trading. You know, obviously there's people that are more advanced than others, but as a baseline, everybody has some substantial information on good trading strategies and what they're looking for on the charts. That way, when you guys are discussing back and forth, you know, it's not like a total noob compared to, you know, like a Sami. Yeah, I'll get that question every once in a while, and sometimes there'll be a person in the chat being like, all he does is promote his one-on-ones. That's all he does. I'm like, come on, man. You're being serious right now. You're acting like a 5-year-old. Trigger Mac, I've been doing absolutely fantastic, man. We started a challenge about a week ago where I take $100 and we turn it into 250K in less than 6 months. So far, we've turned it into about 3.6K. So only 247,000 more to go, I guess. But yeah, been doing absolutely fantastic. Been doing good on losing some of the weight that I've put on because of DoorDash. I've just been working on life. There was a while where I was not live streaming consistently, and I do appreciate you guys still coming back even after I don't show you guys the same respect, because I do feel bad about that, but it is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate you coming by, Trigger. Hey, I remember it wasn't possible at 5,500, but we hit it. Grand is on to something. Yeah, you're right, Mustafa. We're back in profit at least. We're only up 3%, but, you know, still pretty good. Let's see, 30-minute. We might have one more retest after we hit about 9,800. I mean, the 2-hour bearish divergence is very, very close to confirming. So that we do have that going for us. And the 1-hour MACD Stokes are nowhere close to closing just yet. How are you guys getting stopped out? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. Yeah, so me and my friends, when we're just in Discord calls, we measure our profit by McChickens. How long did it take you to become a successful trader? About 6 months. That's 6 months of learning every single day. Okay. Obviously, if you're only able to dedicate like 2 hours a day, it's probably going to take you like 2 years. When I say that I was literally sitting at my computer 14 hours a day, I mean, look at my old live streams. My old live streams used to go on for like 17 hours. Because I would just be sitting there scalping all day. I mean, I was damn good at it too. We would call blood diamonds like an hour in advance. In like the exact location as well, which I still give myself a pat on the back for. Those were the glory days. Did you learn by playing with real money or demo accounts? Real money. So, I'm not gonna lie, I did take some losses in the beginning. I mean, my biggest loss was $250,000. So, but before I took that loss, I made a substantial amount of money. So, it really didn't hurt me too much. But, I mean, in terms of percentages, it wasn't that much. But, like, that... I think the most upset I've ever been at a loss was when I was in sophomore year of high school and Bitcoin crashed from 20K. Because when we were at 20K, I was worth 400,000 grand. when I was 17. So, wait, 400,000 grand? 400 grand, my bad. So I was worth 400 grand, and then we crashed all the way down, and I was only worth 130 grand. Now, obviously, I don't think anybody would be complaining if they had 130 grand at 17 years old. But to lose like 60 to 70% of what I was worth, and the hardest part is like I couldn't tell anybody. There was not a single person that could relate to me. Not a teacher, not a family member, nobody. And besides, a couple people, nobody knew I even had it. So I had to kind of just deal with it myself. So once we did hit that bottom around 3K, that's when I got introduced to leverage trading. And I got very, very lucky just kind of longing supports. And I made a substantial amount of money. I made back everything and more. And then once we got stuck in the consolidation up at 14K to 9K, that gigantic descending triangle, that's when I started really understanding that I wasn't that good at trading. Even though I made so much money, I was not good at trading. And it wasn't until like the very last quarter of that descending triangle when I started getting good at trading. I'm only worth 150 when I was 17. I got lucky. I sold candy. I turned it into Bitcoin. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know it was going to go up to 20K. I just knew Bitcoin was cool. I knew that deflation was working for it, so.
Shit got me ready to fight, my nigga.
I am 20 years old. So I got into Bitcoin when I was 15, 16. And I remember the moment very, very clearly where I knew that I was going to make a lot of money. So I bought Bitcoin just because I knew about it. I wasn't really watching any videos about it or listening to anybody talking about being bullish or anything. But me and my friend Walker were driving to the beach. Well, we weren't driving. His dad was driving. We were in the back of the car. And he leans over and he goes, "Dude, Bitcoin's at $3,000 right now." I'm like, What? All right. Well, that's pretty cool. I am trying to make enough money to sustainably support my family for the rest of their lives, especially my family that's not even born yet. My plan is in about 7 to 10 years, I'm going to be buying a multi-million-dollar compound and tricking it out, and just having all sorts of fun stuff. I want like an ATV track, dirt bike track for me and my nephews that we can kind of ride around on. That'll be fun. I want a botanical garden because, I'm not going to keep up with it. I'm going to hire a gardener. I'm not really a car guy, so I don't think I'm going to be spending crazy amounts of money on, Lamborghinis and just stupid cars. Like I said, I don't think they're stupid. I'm not particularly a car guy. Obviously, I would love to just build PCs for fun and kind of do giveaways with them, whether it's for charity or whether it's on Livestream, because, that's what allowed me to do what I do. Was, I started building PCs when I was about 12 years old, and, that just kind of gave me something to do. Obviously, it gave me processing power to use on certain programs, and it was just fun. So PCs are kind of like my favorite thing. So, before I got into trading, when I really had to think about like a career, I was planning on being either a network engineer or a hardware engineer. I was leaning more towards network engineer because it's a lot easier than being a hardware engineer. So that was my plan. But once I started making the money that I do, I kind of just went and said, hey, I'm not even going to get my A+ renewed. My A+, my net+. You also mind, do you also mind knowing how to build all that stuff? I did have a mining setup. I had about 17 GTX 1070s. And at the time when this was like mid bubble. I guess I don't want to call it a bubble, but I was making about, I think, $50 a day with it. And I ROI'd with it after about 90 days. So after 90 days, it paid for itself. And then everything after that was pretty much just profit. It wasn't a whole lot of profit, but it was fun. It was fun to, obviously it's a headache because when you start setting up systems like that, you have so many things that could go wrong with it. Like you could have a dead card or, maybe the OS isn't compatible with that many GPU, all this stupid stuff. But that's a part of having a PC is figuring out how to fix it. Okay. Obviously there's going to be some Mac fanboy being like, we don't have that problem with Mac. We just send it to AppleCare. All right. That's no fun. That's no fun. Do you use Bookmap for scalping or use other? Yes, I use Bookmap. I just got it last night. I've made 2 really nice, good trades. So far, I've paid for 10 months of Bookmap in just 2 trades. Do you mean like not yet, as in like not have her pregnant yet? I mean like I'm going to have a family one day, and that family is going to have a family, and I want to not necessarily like pamper them and allow them to do no work at whatsoever, but I want to make sure that if I am able to set my family up where they don't have to stress out about money, and I mean, obviously stressing about money lights a fire under your ass and can make you a more efficient person. But I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I think it's really dependent on who the person is. Because I do believe that, there's always the argument between nurture versus nature. And I think it's a mixture between the two. I truly think that out of the gate, people are going to have some sort of set personality just because of some of my beliefs. But I do think, depending on who you have as parents and depending on some of your life situations, you can become a much better person or a little bit more terrible person. Which, obviously, those are wide categories. There's no real definitive answer on what makes you a good person, what makes you a bad person. Obviously, if you kill somebody for fun, you're a bad person, but Are you longing and shorting the walls? What are you looking for to scalp using Bookmap? So what you'll see on Bookmap is you'll see definitive ranges set up. So a lot of the times, instead of looking for one definitive price point, go ahead and look for a general area of a collection of sell walls, and then look for a general collection of buy walls, and kind of just trade between that. And if you're paying close attention, sometimes you'll see a buy wall or a sell wall get removed, and once you get down to that certain price point, because what they'll do is they'll let the price drop all the way down, and they'll keep that buy wall there, but just before it gets hit, they'll remove it, and then you'll slide. Do you think mining is worth the cost now? No. Unless you are able to get your hands on like an ant miner as soon as they come out and get pre-orders on them, I don't think it's worthwhile, especially for individuals now. Obviously, if you're a company and you have, insurance and all these things, it could be definitely profitable. Obviously, Bitmain, obviously they are making an absolute killing, and right now, especially when we do have this bull market. Hey Kite, are you using Trading Light and Bookmap together? I use Trading Light for open interest specifically, open interest and VWAP, not VWAP, VPVR. And then Bookmap is what I use for ultra low time frame scalping, where I can make quick decisions on the fly, usually market orders. Most of the time I can get limits in as well. And I hear you messing with something. Can't see him behind this green screen, but I hear him messing with something. Currently, we're up 14%, 187 bucks. In about 10 to 20 more percent, we'll be above 4K. I got this question like 6 times this live stream. I don't use MC currently. I still have the subscription, but I haven't felt the need for me to go ahead and use it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show people that you don't need to spend lots of money to make money. All right, MACD and RSI is all you need. All right, that's all you need. Okay, first comes support and resistance. You need to master support and resistance, finding price structure, establishing a range, and being able to spot patterns within the first couple of moves. Then move on to divergences, all that type of stuff. But ultimately, support and resistance is what really is going to make you a better trader. I could, guaranteed, I could literally ditch MACD and RSI, and I could trade off of just price action alone. I could. Now, obviously, is my winning percentage going to take a slight hit? Yes, but I can guarantee you that it would still be profitable. Do you still have GONs and stuff? Yes, so I still have GONs on the macro timeframes. I'm not really doing it so much on the smaller timeframes right now. I just haven't felt the need for it, but I still have them on the macro timeframes. So look, this is what I was saying. All right, so this is our resistance right here, the 4-to-1 GON fan. All right, and this is why I was saying these GON fans, these macro resistances, you have to understand. The resistance was at 10,100, but we went all the way up to 10,384 on average. Obviously, we did go up a little bit higher than that. So you can go past these resistances very slightly. Obviously, $200 delta is what I typically do. So I would have gotten stopped out if I tried to short that resistance. But ultimately, it was within the given period, which is what I think that we're seeing right now. So we're seeing it come above a little bit, and we'll see it dip back below, maybe come back up once more, create a lower high, and then finally break back down, which we would be breaking the 1-to-1 again. And the 1-to-1, when broken, does cause a massive dump. So that would allow us to dump pretty hard once we do actually break that. And that is sitting... if we went straight down, it would be about 9,145. Five minutes about to cross to the downside. Thank you, G Moneybags. I appreciate that very much, man. I'm waiting for prices to drop a lot to get a whole new computer. I'm sure those prices will go down a lot as people aren't working, so I'm hoping they will drop huge when this lockdown stuff gets over with. Yeah, definitely. I bought this PC back in January. I bought two 2080 Ti's and then a Ryzen 3700X. Altogether, the PC cost about 5.5K. But when I got it, I realized that SLI does not work that well. So I sent back one of the cards, which actually helped me out a lot. So it actually increased my FPS in video games and allowed the card to drop like 30 degrees. So my 2080 Ti that's overclocked does not go above 60 degrees Celsius. And more than likely, when they come out with a 3080 Ti, I'll probably buy that too, and I'll probably just sell this or pass it down to a friend. The 2080 Ti, not the entire PC. I'm not gonna lie. I did think about investing in BitConnect, but obviously I did my research on it, and if you're just logically thinking about it, it didn't seem reasonable to think that that was an actual possibility. So I did think about investing in it, but fortunately, through research and other people letting me know that it's a freaking Ponzi, I did not get into it, fortunately. I think a 2080 Ti makes about $1.25 a day right now, which isn't too bad. I mean, that's like, what, an extra $400 a year that could pay your car insurance for a couple months. And I mean, obviously, if you make $400 and then we go up 3,000%, that turns into, what, 1,200? No, 12,000. I'm stupid. Sorry. Lack of sleep. In your title, is that risk reward calculator you used to have that worked on Excel? Yeah, so the risk reward calculator, it's a very incredible tool made by one of our community members. So it's based off of a formula that I wrote. Now, I'm sure there's been plenty of people that have used this formula in the past. I'm not claiming to have been the genius that made it up, but this is what it goes like. So 20% divided by chart stop equals leverage. And then leverage times 5% of port equals contracts. So that's the 1% golden rule typed out in a formula for leverage. Yeah, so in the description, you should be able to find the Dropbox link for the risk reward calculator, I believe. Do you hold any crypto? Yes, I hold crypto. Since we are sitting at a macro top, I have cashed out some of my position, as well as that most of my accounts have transferred over to USDT. I hold lots of Monero. So my main holdings, okay, in terms of highest percentage to lowest percentage, would go Bitcoin, Ethereum, XMR, Monero. What's the next couple? XRP, Basic Attention Token. That's really the only ones I really hold on to be honest. How many monitors do you have in your setup? Currently, I only have 2. I did have 7. I had 7 monitors, but I figured that was a little bit excessive, so I wanted to downsize. I have a 4K, 120 hertz HDR, just balls to the wall display, which is what you guys are currently looking at right now. And then I have a 240 hertz 1080p Zowie for competitive gaming, because that's what I like to do in my free time. Is it important to have multiple monitors, or is it just for professional traders? So if you are getting into trading for real, okay, and it's not just a pastime or a hobby anymore, and you're really trying to put some time into it, in order to increase your productivity, what I would recommend is pick up two low-end 1440p monitors, okay? Just two of them. So what that's going to do is that's going to increase your desktop real estate by 8 times what a single 1080p screen is going to be. That way, you have so much more room to work with. You have so much more room to view your chart. You can see so much more price action, so many more divergences. It will allow you to have multiple different things open, such as like having Bookmap over here and then having price action over here. Maybe having, price action like this, and then putting your buy bit like that. Kind of like that. It just gives you more room to work with. So it's not important. You can get by with a single monitor, but it really does increase your productivity and just making things a lot easier on you over the long period of time, having two monitors, specifically 1440p and above. I feel like if you're doing anything related to productivity, like me, I'm doing competitive gaming, so 1080p is what I need because high refresh rate, higher FPS. But if I was strictly just trading, I would probably have two 4K monitors, or at least two 1440p monitors. Alright, so we did create a diagonal resistance once again. So what I'm hoping is that we go up and we put in a lower high. So let me see if I can find a good 1440p monitor for you as a recommendation. The one that I had, because I particularly just love higher refresh rates, I had a 144 hertz. It's $350 on average. It's the Dell 2716DG. It's a 144 hertz. I think it's a TN panel though. It's not an IPS, which really doesn't matter if you're not doing anything crazy. But yeah, that's about $350. But I know a lot of people don't want to spend $350 on a monitor. This monitor right here that I'm using on my right side is $2,000, but it's just the bee's knees. All right, I didn't think a monitor could look this good, but trust me when I say this, it's an eyegasm. All right. So 1440p monitor. Yeah, they got some good 27-inch 1440p monitors for about $150 to $200. That's pretty good. They have round monitors. Are you talking about the curved monitors? Because the only time I think a curved monitor is ever worth it is when you have an ultra wide. Because then you actually have a reason to have it curved. If it's like a 27-inch curved monitor, I really don't think it's really worth the extra price tag because of it. Have you defined your point of failure for current trade? Yes, it would be at about 10,030. Yeah, so one of my main issues is I'm able to get breakouts very, very easily. I get good entries. I get good take profits. But then there's that couple of hours afterwards where we're trying to define a range, I find myself always trying to catch the top, or just working with little to no price action in terms of range. And I end up losing some of my profits because of it. So what I'm going to try to do is on the next major breakout, instead of trying to hop immediately back into another trade, I'm just going to wait, a couple hours and let a range be defined. That way I have a much easier time scalping it until the next breakout. Yes, 9,900, 9,950 is the maximum resistance of that neckline. All right, so I know it's hard to see, all right? But, all right, bear with me. You have to look between the lines. All right, so we have, you can see right here. So right here. Okay. All right, let's not make the, all right, let's do that. Boom. All right, so right here. God dang it. All right. Turn that down. Right here. Right here. Okay. And you can see it held support in that area as well. All right. So we have three main resistances. Okay. We have the top one here at about 10,050. All right. We have the middle one here at about 9,950. And then we have the bottom one here at about 9,800 to 9,750. Okay, so essentially what we were working with was a head and shoulders, and then it turned into a double top. So in order for us to remain bearish, we want to stay below 9,950. Now we could come back up. As long as we stay below this diagonal, we're fine. But in actuality, we really do want to stay below 9,950. Okay, and ultimately use that momentum to the downside to break 9,750 and drop down to 9,500. Bear with me. God. I'll tell you what, one of my first purchases with the profits made from this $100 account is going to be a Herman Miller chair. We talked about it a couple months ago, but I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to buy a $1,000 chair. A lot of people, they criticize, like, that's something that pisses me off, man. Just because I have money doesn't mean that I'm stupid with it. All my friends, they don't understand. So, they're like, oh, you have all this money. Why don't you buy a fancy car? Why don't you live in a big house? And I'm like, why? Why would I? I can't even keep my house clean. How am I going to keep a 6,000 foot house, square foot house clean? All right, it's not going to happen. All right, either I get them made or I just don't buy the house. All right, obviously it's way cheaper to just not buy the house. But I do plan on getting a bigger house here soon. Probably in like the next 1 to 2 years. Depends on what's happening. Yeah, G Nugget, that would be a good sign that we're probably going to head to the upside. Get a wife. Those are also expensive. I keep trying to look on Craigslist to see if anybody's selling any, but the only one that I found was like 60 miles away, and then as well I think it was like $500. Well, the main thing is I need to get a different desk, because I've had this desk for about 4 years now. It's just a $100 IKEA desk, but it's starting to warp in the middle. So I don't want to wake up one day and just have the desk just crack down the middle and everything just broken on the floor. I do have the middle leg underneath it just to support it, but it's still warping. But I do need to get a different desk. Now, I just been researching ergonomics, because I know it doesn't. A lot of you guys are older. You guys don't care about games, but competitive gaming is a big part of my life. All right, I've been competitive gaming since I was 14 years old. I've been top 100 in multiple games, top 3 in multiple games. And that's how I used to get viewers on my live streams. I used to be very, very good at video games. So, you know, when I buy stuff, it's typically to enhance my gaming experience and make me better, especially ergonomic type stuff. Which game is your favorite? Right now, it has to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare. For about 3 years, it was CSGO. For about 2 years, it was PUBG/Darwin Project, just because I went through a Battle Royale phase. A lot of you guys probably don't even know what Darwin Project is. I was #1 in the world at that. It was a early access game on Steam. It was a Battle Royale, did things very, very differently. And it was just a lot of fun. I don't think I'll ever buy a PS5 because they have the streaming service now where you can stream PS4 games onto a PC through PS Now. I think it's called PS Now. So I don't even have to buy a PS4 or PS5 in order to play exclusives. Why are you not make money playing? Why are you not making money playing? I did. I played in a couple tournaments where I won, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. Mostly I would make money through donations because when you're a small streamer, obviously this was around the period of time where I really wasn't cashing out my crypto because it was continuously growing. That's how I would kind of have my spending money. But I never went pro. I love playing competitively, but casually. I don't know. I find when I can just chill out and relax and play, I play significantly better than if I was, having 1,000 people watch me and that's something that I could never imagine doing. Back in the early days of CSGO, you used to be able to gamble on pro matches. And I could not imagine being responsible for someone else's loss. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's their fault if they lost money. They're gambling. But, obviously, when they bet on you because they believe in you, and then you end up losing, and then they lost a couple $1,000 because of it, I don't know. I don't know if I could handle that. I'll probably get some hate mail. You stupid face, you poopy stinky head. You made me lose $2,000. How am I going to pay my car off this month? I can't afford my car payment. Send me money. That's pretty much what the message would look like.
Living my life under a black light. Out here paying my dues. Sometimes I lose it and don't act right. Feeling forever.
Let's see. Oh, it does look like we're going to hold this resistance. So I think I'm going to hop off, guys. I did want to be in a substantial amount of profit before we got off live stream. That would have been nice to show you guys a couple $1,000 win, just live. Currently, we're sitting at negative 0.9%. So, we're not, we're not obviously in extreme profit yet. But even if I make 50% on this, I'll make about $700. Like I said, if we go down to 9,500, I'll make about $3,000. So essentially, I'll double the account to about 7.4. So what can we expect when joining the Telegram? Are you posting the challenge setups? So essentially, yes. Every single call that I've ever made in the past week, 2 weeks, has been on the $100 account. So if you are following along to a T, yes, you would technically be in extreme profit. But like I said, the Telegram group is not there to spoon feed you, okay? I will show you my chart. You guys can always ask for a copy of my chart. Obviously the link to the TradingView account, so you can see everything that I'm drawing live. And obviously, if you guys need that kind of help, and obviously, if you guys have a legitimate question like, hey, I really don't know where to put my stop loss, could you please explain why and where? I would do that. But at a certain point, sometimes it does feel like some people are asking certain questions that should not be asked. That's all. Which is a big gripe of mine. Obviously, I'm not going to yell at you for it. I understand what I got myself into when I started this Telegram group. But I'm very adamant with telling you guys that it is not a call group. It is not a signal group. It is a group for you to learn by example. Okay? So when you look at me make a call, I want you to legitimately go to your chart. Look at it for yourself. If you agree with what I'm saying, take the position. If you don't agree, either don't take the trade or take the opposite trade. I don't want you to feel like you are hindered by my performance. What leverage are you using when scalping? Currently, I am on 60x leverage. So let's look up Herman Miller chairs, see if there's any postings. Only 3. Yeah, it doesn't look like. I mean, it's all in Washington, D.C. I really don't feel like going all the way up to Washington. Let's see. Anything on the PC listings? Sometimes I just like going and looking for good deals on Craigslist, even if I really don't need it. But, you know, sometimes, you know, I found a couple good bundle deals where people sell their entire setups for an extreme discount just to kind of sell it fast. Let's see. Gaming PC high end. He has two 2080 Ti's, an i9 7900, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 500 megabyte SSD, M.2, 1 terabyte SSD. I mean, yeah, it's a good looking system. Oh, that's actually a pretty good looking system. Now let me look at, so 2080 Ti resale would probably go, I would probably pay no more than $600. So that's $1,200 right there. Let me see, an X7900. What does that cost? Wait, hold on. What? Alright, there's no way that's his what? An i9. Okay. i9 7900X. Okay. Let's check Newegg. Oh my God! What the processor alone costs $2,000. Wait, what? Okay, so it's a server processor. I feel like that's I don't feel like that's the right price though. Okay, so it's $1,300 on Amazon. Okay, so we're already up to the $2,500 mark, and it has a custom water loop. So yeah, that probably adds maybe about $500. So that's already $3,000. 64 gigabytes of RAM. I would say about as an additional about $400. So yeah, I mean this is actually a pretty good deal. I'll show you guys the picture of it. I don't know if it's gonna give away my position though, in terms of my location. I guess it will, but let me see. I guess, yeah, I can just bring up the picture. So this is the PC that I'm looking at right here. Krypton, have a great night, buddy. I appreciate you being here, buddy. So this is the PC. That's the cable management. That's the paint job on it. That's pretty sick. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal for that, like a pre-built system like that.
And ever since the medic rinsed the blood off of my paws, it's been better print. Shit, it's been heaven since I met a Grinch down in the cellar stench. Liable to the vinyl, so she presses every second inch. I let her get wrapped in a pinch to see the eager beaver flinch.
Let me see anything else.
Smoking doobie houses, build booby traps for cowards. Barking at alpha dogs, twice my size on off hours. Shoot for the stars with missiles and advanced firepower. Shower me with flowers, good goddamn, I'm so high. In a world where the guns are plenty, so you man up or die. Well, I guess this ain't my cue because I can't fold or fly. Should I jump, turn around once, and stick them all up with my brand new stun gun?
All right, guys, it's getting that time. Is the free version enough for the info you need? I'm not sure. I just kind of bought the pro version off the bat. I didn't even take a look at the free version, so I am sorry. I probably should have, so I could give you guys, some an actual answer to that question.
So be careful what you're wishing for when you think no one's around. Got a first contract on that contact high. Still blows my mind. How to became more, then became worldwide. Hold up, man, I went too far. Gotta go back to the start. Raps in the car, beats in the garage, and rats in the walls. Never knew another crew iller than ours. We on course, not with a few detours. Along the way, I lost faith in my idols. Found wreck damn near suicidal. See, we both seen things that don't make a thief sing like an angel in a church revival.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, everyone else. Have a great weekend as well. G Moneybags, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. I'll see you on Monday, buddy. All right, guys, I'm going to start saying goodbye. I'll see you on Monday. Closing statements. If you guys want to support the channel for future giveaways, the link in the description for the Bybit affiliate link. If you guys would like to sign up for that, I would very, very much appreciate it. It goes all back to benefit you guys. So that is one good way to support me and the stream and your fellow crypto people. As well as that, if you guys do want live access to my trades in real time, sign up for the Telegram. It's $50 a month. Depending on how many people I actually have in it, what I'll probably do is if I get 100 people signed up for the Telegram, I'll probably drop it to about $30 a month. Just save you guys some extra money. As well as that, if you guys want to have personal sessions with me and access to a very nice Discord where we have weekly meetings where you can talk with other crypto traders, as well as a lot of other people that probably know a lot more than you. Not being mean, I just want you to know that there's people there that can help you with any situation that you're looking at. So if you want to do that, that is $450 in crypto, $500 through the Patreon. So obviously, if you want to save $50, just go to me directly through Discord. Everything is in the description that you'll need to find. Bristol reward calculator. I appreciate it. I don't mean to do that to shill myself. I just want to make sure that you guys have the information because I really don't talk about it too often. A lot of people just ask the same question. So I'll start kind of putting that disclaimer. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Crazy Kangaroo, you have a great night, buddy. Varga, I don't know how to pronounce your first name, but Varga, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. John, thank you very much. I'll see you on Monday. James, what's going on, man? Banana. G Nugget, thank you very much, man. I'll see you later. Hugo, have a great one, man. Let's see. Let's select our outro song. Where's mine? Okay, it's behind that side. Cool. Let's see. What's a good song? So I always try to play something inspirational. I'm gonna kind of, let's see. Oh, I haven't played this song in a while, so I'm gonna play this song. This is one of my favorite songs. So you'll just have to wait until the outro. Alrighty, go ahead and load it up. All right, so I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. See you guys on Monday at 8 p.m. AST. And make sure that you guys subscribe, turn the bell notification on. That way, if I do happen to post like an actual update, where if I can't make it to a live stream, you guys can know ahead of time so you guys aren't sitting there twiddling your thumbs. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, happy trading. Hopefully this trade works out. Hopefully we make some immense profit and keep on trucking towards that 250K target. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay, bye.
Yeah, they say that money don't buy happiness, just beautiful things. But I wouldn't mind the extra time and peace of mind that it brings. I wouldn't mind if I could afford AC in the spring, or for the heat in the winter, not being bitter, but they live like kings. And here we are in one bedroom we can barely afford, hanging sheets up on the walls just to mimic the doors. Can barely afford to pay for a Ford while you pay for your Porsche. See where I'm from, nobody makes it to Forbes, and I'm so tired of this dead-end job. While I was working last night, my fucking car got robbed. There's glass everywhere, I'm searching for the things I lost, all the things I bought. You steal from me just to cut your cost. My mom's worked her whole life just to give me a life to live, so I spill my fucking soul and give everything I can give. I think we can agree that Sally Mae is a bitch, and there's gotta be more to life than this. Why do you let us
hurt one another just for the dollar? Did you lose your heart in the darkness deep in your pocket? No, I don't care of the price I pay. I don't wanna spend my life that way. Tell me, is the pain that you're causing worth what you profit?
Yeah, another day, another bill. Lately hating how I feel. Need a tax refund just to buy a fucking meal. Your follows on your socials essential for signing deals. Man, it's crazy how a fake affects a room full of real. My boss told me turn tables. I told him tables will turn when I'm laughing at what I make in a day is more than you earn. The waiters start to laugh like to mention that is absurd, but they never focus their vision. Their vision focus is blurred, and they think I'm out of my mind or ahead of my time, or I'm the one that grinds and puts himself on the line. To learn how to win, you have to lose 100 times. Honestly, I think that losing is better than not trying. They say, make money, don't let the money make you. The question is, what if it's the only thing to save you? Would you sell your soul for a price if they paid you, or would you keep it real and stay you? Why do you let us
hurt one another just for the dollar? Did you lose your heart in the darkness deep in your pocket? No, I don't care of the price I pay. I don't wanna spend my life that way. Tell me, is the pain that you're causing worth what you profit?
Yeah, I know that money don't buy happiness, but buys you more material shit. Been reworking how I think and what it means to be rich. I used to think it meant to flex, a Rolex on my wrist. Feels bad to take more than you give. Lately hate how we live. I never wanna become the things that I hate. With a man in the mirror with laugh and spit in my face and tell me that the money is maybe another fake. I've been drowning in my mind and my money's been at it. Wait, oh Lord, please save me. I should've known that something man-made couldn't make me. I say I'm making music, or is music what creates me? I never have an answer, same question every day. See, when we pass on, all our things are passed on to the next. Everything we didn't do is everything we regret. Every day we fucking work for this worthless check. If you're not happy, you're forever in debt. You're forever in debt. Fuck it. Another day, another night, another fucking battle in my mind. A lot of love, a lot of hate. realize at the bottom is the top when forgotten. Pray I don't fall like autumn. When you feel more like a product than a person, there's a problem, babe. Feeling so low, I don't want no one to know. I just need something to cope. Leave me alone, told them I'll leave me alone. Then wonder where did they go? Benny before, push away people I love, just so they never get close. End of my rope, I don't think anyone care. Maybe they will when I go. Maybe they'll talk about me on the internet. They never care, only care when they benefit. Introvert, honestly, out of my element. Still, I'm afraid of becoming irrelevant. Pay attention to the ones who don't clap when you win. If they lie to you once, and they'll do it again. Knew the hurt would come back and just didn't know when. And the night of the crash, I thought it was the end. All it takes is a moment to alter a life. And I thought about that for the rest of the night. Am I making a difference with things that I write? Just a human, you don't know the demons I fight. So another day, another night, another fucking battle in my mind. A lot of love, a lot of hate, a lot who wanna see me unwind. I feel alone, all alone. Your shit together's what I'm told. Been feeling low, super low, and they won't even care till I'm gone. You say I'm the worst, they say I'm the best, but call me tonight when you get off of work. Got things on my chest, I've been feeling bad for the feelings I have. I know that I'm blessed, been learning that money just isn't the cure for feeling depressed. I know I digress, I've been a mess. Honestly, I've been a mess. Hate what I think in my head, act like a friend, and when I need you the most, that's when you leave me on red.